Are you looking for a new home? Well, if you are, then how does this one look? It's quite beautiful, right? And it must have been even more so when it was built back in 1904. It might also be haunted, though. That's never good. But to some people, that is a bonus. Take our writer Amy, for example. She loves a ghost or two with her home. Just don't expect her to clean up after them. So she'll be thrilled by today's video, which features homes that are said to be haunted. From the previous owner who refuses to leave to an evil spirit, these stories will make you never want to buy a new home. But first, let's take a look at this property. The old vicarage has stood abandoned and empty since 2017, but its vacancy has less to do with its price tag and more to do with the home's reputation as a haunted house. See, it's not often you find a home as grand as the old vicarage, especially for just $300,000. At over 8,000 square feet, this 19-room mansion has 5 bedrooms, but that's only on paper. The home has enough rooms to accommodate hundreds of people. There's just one problem. Most people are afraid to enter the home, not because of its condition or its size, but because of who they're sharing it with. The old vicarage was originally built in 1904 by architect Axel Anderberg for his own use. He had designed many public buildings in Stockholm, including the city's main train station. So he wanted his home to be something special. It took 3 years to complete, but the result was worth it. The old vicarage has 19 rooms, including 5 large bedrooms. Yet the story goes that no one can stay here for long. In 1968, the building was sold to a family, but within a few months, they had to move out due to paranormal activity. They weren't alone. Over the years, many families tried to live in the home, but all reported strange and unexplainable phenomena, things like chairs moving on their own, doors opening and closing, footsteps in the middle of the night, shaking beds and apparitions of ghostly figures. And that's why today the home remains abandoned. So would you live in a haunted house? Let us know your thoughts below. But for now, let's move on to the next home for sale. This one could be perfect for you, except for one thing. Imagine living on a peaceful street with a lovely home like this one to come back to every day. It's beautiful, but there's a catch. The current owner hasn't moved out yet, even though he passed away 2 years ago. You see, the old man had lived there his whole life until one day his friends found him unresponsive in his favorite armchair. While there were no signs of foul play, paramedics were unable to revive the old man. And shortly after, his relatives came to settle his estate. But once they started going through his belongings, they found he had no living relatives. He had distant cousins, but none of them wanted the responsibility of taking care of his home, and so they placed it up for sale. But the home still hadn't sold 2 years later, despite its low price and prime location. Then one potential buyer decided to investigate further. He reached out to the local historical society, where they told him about the home's former owner. See, the old man was a bit of a recluse, but he was also incredibly generous. He donated thousands of dollars to charities and left a sizable inheritance for anyone who could take care of his home. But apparently, no one wanted the job. The buyer eventually purchased the home, hoping to renovate it and sell it for a profit. But that was easier said than done. The home was filled to the brim with the old man's possessions. There were stacks of paperwork everywhere, along with old furniture and personal items. But as they started to sort through everything, they noticed something disturbing. Many of the items were duplicates, from the stack of newspapers to the countless kitchen utensils. Some things were broken, like the old television set in the corner. But most of the items were in pristine condition, like they were used daily. It seemed as if the old man had been living in the home, but that was impossible. And then they found the answer. Tucked away in a bedroom, they found a hidden compartment with a diary inside. It detailed the old man's life and revealed his dark secret. He believed his home was haunted by the ghost of his wife. She had passed away decades ago, but he continued to live in the home, donating money in her name. He also kept her possessions around as if she were still alive. And that explained everything. But it seems the ghost wasn't too happy with the intrusion, as strange things started happening again. Tools would go missing and then be found in strange places. Lights would turn on and off by themselves, and the workers even saw the apparition of an elderly woman. Eventually, they had to abandon the home, leaving it once again vacant and empty. But now you can purchase it for a bargain. Just don't expect the seller to clear out the attic. Okay, we've seen 2 haunted houses, but neither of those compares to this next one. No one wants to live here, but before you decide it's cursed, hear the full story. The home looks pretty normal, right? It's actually a pretty nice colonial-style home with 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, plus it has a pool and a finished basement. But that's not what makes it unique. It's the reason it's been abandoned. The thing is, this home is considered one of the most haunted homes in America. You see, paranormal investigators have visited the home and uncovered some disturbing history. When the home was built in the early 1900s, it was a popular spot for young lovers to rendezvous. But one day, a group of men decided to break in and assault the women there. Unfortunately, this happened multiple times. But finally, the women's brother got fed up and killed one of the men. That's when the home became cursed. One psychic who visited the home claims the spirit of the murdered man still resides there, and he's very angry. The home has been the site of multiple investigations, both by the police and paranormal experts, and there's plenty of evidence to support the rumors. In 2009, the home was placed up for auction, but no one made a bid. The owners were forced to list it for $500,000, but it's still vacant, and now you can buy it for just $449,000. But just remember, you're not buying an empty house. It's time for one last home, and this one is by far the scariest. Just take a look at it. Something doesn't seem right, right? Well, that's because it isn't. This home looks normal from the outside, but inside it's a mess. Furniture is overturned, windows are shattered, trash is strewn across the floor, and there's graffiti on the walls. But that's just the beginning. The home is located in Niagara, Ontario, but its history dates back much further. The original structure was built in 1854, but was destroyed in a fire. A second home was built on the same spot, but it too was destroyed, this time by a tornado. Before the third and final home was built, a priest performed an exorcism on the land to rid it of any evil spirits. But even that didn't help. The home has changed hands many times, but each owner soon regretted their decision. Strange things started happening right away, like heavy footsteps, voices in the middle of the night, and objects moving on their own. But that was nothing compared to what happened to the children. Whenever they went into the basement, they started crying for no reason. One daughter claimed she couldn't even walk down the stairs because the spirit made her legs feel weak. As you can imagine, this made the home difficult to sell. And while the owners eventually moved out, the home remained abandoned for decades. That's why today it stands abandoned and in ruins. The city has considered demolishing it, but it would cost nearly $1 million, so for now, it remains a scary reminder of the past. And now it's time to make your voice heard. Which of these homes would you love to own? Let us know in the comments and check back for more videos like these.